it's time for you guys to call in and let us know any question that you have. 800-292-5150 is a number. Hello, Jordan.
Hello. Yep.
Hey, Jordan, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Jasmine's here, and we would love to know what your question is.
Yes. So I'm calling because I'm currently unhappy with where I'm working. The pay isn't great. The hours are really long, and it's a really poor work-life balance.
Ooh, okay.
And so I've started to look elsewhere, applying, doing some interviews. I was wondering any advice in terms of presenting myself to other companies, but also just maintaining that focus where I currently am to not, go off the rails.
All right. Well, listen, I've had these experiences myself, so I cannot wait to talk to you about this. But as far as where you are currently, right, no matter what you're doing, you never know who's watching. So when you have a job, even though you may not be happy there and ready to leave, you can never act like that. You still have to show up and do what you're supposed to do to the best of your ability, because the worst thing you want to do is having work somewhere. I don't know how long you've been there, but you don't want to burn a bridge when you know you're on the way out. Right? And so knowing that you have this plan, and a plan is good, because let me tell you something, there's people who will be at a job that they hate and complain, but don't do anything about it. So I commend you for knowing that your time is up.
Yep.
And you got to look for something else, and keeping that in mind. One day you won't be here anymore, but you also don't know if somebody else in another department is paying attention to how you are. You don't know where anybody else might land later. So you don't want to burn the bridge and, set everything on fire. You just want to make sure you still show up, do your job, mind your business, go home, and always stay on the lookout for what's next. Because you also don't know if someone's going to reach out for a potential employment, and you don't want people to say negative things about you.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, as far as looking for another job, Jasmine, when's the last time you've been on a job interview?
Is it 12 plus years probably?
But I will say the first thing is the impression that you make when you walk in that room, how you're dressed.
Yes.
All right. Make sure that you look the part. Make sure that you get there early. Even if you don't go up early, get there a few minutes early. But aside from that, if you have to go downstairs, get a cup of coffee, before you go up, you don't want to be rushing. You don't want to feel frazzled. You want to be nice and calm. So give yourself time so that even if you're running late, you're still going to be early. And show up, like I would say, like a few minutes before your interview time, so that they know that you're serious, you're punctual,
right?
Because you don't want to be late, and you don't want to have anything could go wrong on the way there. And just make sure you look the part, you're early. And calm, and practice. Think about all the questions that they always ask on an interview. Do your research on the company. So make sure that you have questions that you can ask too.
Right.
That way it'll show that you came in prepared, you know about the company. If you can even search the person who's interviewing you so that you have some type of connection, like, I saw that you went to whatever school, I went there also, or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever it is, to make some type of personal connection, I think helps, but also to show that you cared enough to research the company. Because a lot of times they'll ask you, do you have any questions for me?
Right.
And you shouldn't just
no.
be like, no. You should be like, I was wondering, I know you guys are heading in this direction, and with certain challenge, what is it that, whatever it is, just make sure you do your research. And when I say practice, it's good for you to think about questions that they're going to ask you, but don't seem rehearsed.
Right.
You still want to seem natural. You still want to feel comfortable with your answers, but you don't want to make it seem like you're reading off a paper or you memorize something.
Yes. Completely understand.
And then afterward, follow up. Even if it's a thank you card, that people don't normally take the time to do those things. But after the interview, just send out a thank you card. Thank you for your time. I really, enjoyed sitting down with you, and hope to hear from you soon. Whatever it is, send a thank you for their time. Express your interest. Say that this is something that, you would really like to be there. And if they need any additional information, make sure they have your best contact.
Absolutely. And even just sort of keep that my impression fresh in their mind, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. What industry are you in? Are you looking to get in?
Entertainment industry.
What about entertainment?
I would say either music, content creation,
okay.
Maybe some more like traditional stuff like film and television.
Okay.
All right. And listen, the other thing I will say is keep in mind a salary. Do your research on that too. So that if they ask you what your expectations are, you know what the range is, because I think it's, sometimes they want to know, like, well, if we do have something available, what are your expectations? So just make sure you're prepared for anything they could potentially ask you.
Yes, definitely. You don't want to shoot too high or shoot too low, depending on where their head is at.
Right. So just be, but don't go too, and remember, everything's negotiable.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, I wish you so much luck. And again, don't burn that bridge for where you're at right now if you can help it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Of course. He's going to send us a thank you letter. No, thank you, Jordan. Good luck.